What's up, everybody? This is Chloe Rad. I'm here with Sean Finnegan.
Hello.
We're playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive. We're checking out the new R8 revolver that was just added in the winter update. People are pretty mad about this gun.
Yeah, so this came out a few days ago, and it has been, to say the least, game-changing.
Game-breaking, almost.
Yeah. And one of the things that's a little weird about it is that it's the first gun in Counter-Strike that has two separate functions for its firing.
So if you left-click... Okay, so there's the right-click right there. That's the instant fire. It's less accurate than the left-click, but if you want to do that real quick...
Yeah, it is very, very inaccurate, actually. Or you can left-click, which I'm doing now, and it's very accurate, but it does a ton of damage. It is the same damage and armor piercing as the AWP.
The AWP, yeah. But it only costs $850. It's just a pistol. Like it shouldn't be that. And then at close range too, if you hammer if you fan the hammer with the right click, it's almost as powerful as a shotgun at close range.
Yeah. So this gun is kind of destroying the competitive community right now. I haven't seen backlash like this actually since Valve added riot shields back in 1.3 or 1.4. I forget which version of Counter-Strike that was, but. Counter-Strike, as we all know, is a game that's super high skill level and very skill-oriented, and this is a gun that kind of allows, anyone to really land shots and kill people at distance.
And as you can see in the upper right corner, everybody's using this gun right now.
Yeah, it's definitely changed the way people play the game.
Yeah, we're playing casual right now. This is deathmatch, and so it looks like the Wild West out here. It's kind of ridiculous. I have not jumped into a competitive game myself with this gun, but you have.
Yeah, I have played a few matches. I'm at LEM right now. You're getting knifed. I'm at LEM right now on the competitive ladder, and it's really changed the way that people are playing the game in terms of economy management, right? So one of the big aspects of the game is that as a team, you're supposed to try and buy and save at the same time because you want to be able to maximize your chances of winning against a team. And this is basically making it so that anytime you're fighting a team that is potentially saving, they still have a huge chance of winning because they can just armor revolver and one-shot people who have AKs, Colts, and Ops, regardless of where they are on the map. As you can see, it does so much damage, and I'm killing these people in one shot without even headshotting.
Yeah. I mean, you can land body shots, gut shots. It's a one-hit kill for most places on the body, and it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, so if you hit them in the chest, it does 97 or 98 damage, but in the stomach or in the head, with the left mouse button function, it is a one-hit kill, which is, again, just totally ridiculous.
It's particularly ridiculous because there were actually a lot of other changes that came with this winter update, including they doubled the pistol and accuracy when you're running.
Yes.
Which is it seems like that's a change where they're trying to make the game more skill-based, and that might be fine. But on top of that, you have this revolver, so it completely throws off what I'm interpreting is their intentions here.
Yeah, you mentioned that it seems that there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance because most pro players and high skill level players would agree that pistols prior to this update were pretty strong, and right. If you were on a team that had pretty good communication and good tactics, you could anti-eco pretty regularly against teams that had guns, and that wasn't how the game was supposed to be played. So I agree that pistols did need to be a little bit nerfed, but at the same time as nerfing pistols, like you mentioned, they add in this revolver,
which by the way, the running accuracy on this is also just ridiculous.
I'm strafing, and that is hitting basically exactly where the crosshair is.
Yeah.
It is pretty crazy, and so it's changed the game in a way that I think a lot of people are definitely not used to, and a lot of people are, as a result, when anything changes in video games or there's something that changes the meta, a lot of people are very angry about it.
Right, and this isn't the first new gun that they've added in CSGO. We saw the CZ, right, which was super powerful when it first came out. They nerfed that.
Right, and it's kind of funny to say because, in terms of adding pistols to the game, Valve is kind of 0 for 2,
Right.
But yeah, like you mentioned, the CZ was initially very overpowered when it got implemented in the game, but look at that. That's crazy. But that was a headshot.
Yeah.
Eventually it was, balanced in a way that it's still effective and doesn't feel overpowered.
You got to learn how to use it. It's not just something you can whip out and just clear the whole team out with.
Exactly.
Which
yeah.
I hope they do with this gun, because it's an interesting weapon, but I just cannot justify using it in competitive. Like,
so the problem that I see is that it's not a matter of justifying it now, because basically you're being it's a detriment to your team if you're not using it. That's how powerful it is.
Yeah.
It's like it does the same. It does better damage than AK's silence Colts, regular Colts, and as much as an op, and it costs $850. Basically, there's no reason to not have one.
it just feels like an ethical thing. You know, it's like,
Yeah, you're kind of obligated.
it's a little bit like, I wonder if it's sort of going to become like the auto, where every time someone buys the auto, everyone gets mad.
I mean, right now it's like people get mad at you for not using it because you're not helping your team in the best
Yeah.
way that you can, because you have a chance to kill anyone anywhere on the map with this gun, regardless of if it's a buy round or an eco round.
Right.
One of the things that I did want to point out, though, is that this gun does take the deagle slot on your inventory.
Yeah.
So it is meant to be a deagle replacement. Anyone who played 1.6 or even Source recognizes the deagle as kind of like that hand cannon type gun where it's supposed to do like huge stopping power. The problem with this gun really is just the accuracy. It is far more accurate and therefore way more deadly at high skill levels, because while any good player should be able to kill someone who's revolvering, is that a word? I'm making it a word. If they don't miss their first shot, there's nothing you can do. And at high skill levels, very few times do people miss open shots. And yeah, it's kind of a difficult thing. I see this gun being nerfed pretty quickly, like within a week or two.
There's also a couple bugs that have come attached with it too.
Right.
For
Do you
instance,
wanna
you
talk
can
a little
actually
bit about that?
right-click while you're defusing to fire.
Oh yeah,
So
that
while
is
you're
true.
shooting, so
We're
that-
in deathmatch, so I can't demonstrate that right now, but
Yeah.
you can fire this pistol. It's the only gun in the game right now that you can fire whilst defusing a bomb.
Yeah, that's to me seems like just a bug, but it still is like a pretty huge oversight for a major update like this.
Definitely. The other one is that, and this is not one that I'm sure I can replicate right now, but if you right-click to fire off a shot and then hold down the button like I am right here, and then left-click, your next left-click shot is an instant fire instead of having to charge it up, but it still has the accuracy of a left-click,
Right.
which is crazy. And again, look at the kill monitor up there. You can see how many people are just using this regularly. It's pretty insane.
And I know a lot of people are talking about this gun, but there were a lot of other changes that came with the update. We won't go too into detail with that right now, but I'm almost wondering, like a lot of people have pointed out, that maybe this was sort of a distraction from the other changes.
Yeah,
They tweaked the AK and the M4 a little bit. I think it was either tapping or bursting accuracy. Like I mentioned before, they tweaked pistol and accuracy. They changed the round and the bomb timers. That's really big too.
Yeah, that's big for competitive play. A lot of people on Reddit and in the community have been saying that the conspiracy theory is that, yes, this tremendously overpowered weapon is a decoy for drawing criticism away from the other changes
Yeah,
that in
and that-
any other patch might have been heavily criticized. I don't know if I buy that. There's a lot of people out there saying a lot of things right now because they're angry about how this is changing the game.
Right. There are some
But-
people saying that maybe Valve just wants to sell skins, which I can actually buy that. Sell
Yeah, and
skins
I mean-
for Christmas before they nerf it.
Not to be entirely negative or cynical about this, but I like the idea of adding pistols to the game. Like, I'm fine with them adding weapons to the game because it changes the way people play it, but something about this feels like they didn't play test it or didn't play test it enough, because
Yeah.
it is extremely, extremely overpowered.
Yeah,
and,
like we mentioned before, it's totally normal to introduce something and then tweak it, balance it as community feedback comes in.
Exactly. And I think that is what we expect to see going forward. And the other positive thing I like about this is that it is the first time that Valve has, minus sniper rifles, which do have a secondary function on the right click, but it's a scope, which is different. This is the first gun that has two different primary
And alt fire.
firing mechanisms, and that is actually an exciting thing, because who knows where we might go with that in the future, right? Maybe
Right.
there will be additional guns in the future that have cool sort of functions on the right click that, aren't scopes, and that's interesting to me.
Hopefully ones that get implemented a little better right at the start.
Yeah. So if you're playing Counter-Strike, go and, jump into this patch and see what you think of this pistol, and you know, let us know, because I would be interested in hearing what your thoughts are, especially if you're, you know, a high-level player or a pro player.
Yep. There we go.
So that's it. So thank you guys very much for watching this. Thank you, Chloe, for joining me in
Thanks.
this. For everything Counter-Strike, you are in the right place. IGN.